What's up, champs? Whether you're new to exercising or if you're a seasoned lifter, but you're really just not sure what exact exercises you need to be doing when you're working out, in this video I'm going to give you 12 of the best exercises that I believe you should be doing at the gym on a daily and weekly basis. I'm going to be covering exercises that are going to help you level up your upper body, your lower body, as well as your abs. And also, before we dive in, you can be doing the best exercises. You can be doing all the right things in the gym, but if your nutrition is not on point, you won't really get the results you're looking for. So below this video, you'll find a couple of different links to other nutrition videos that I have on my channel. And so those are videos you can refer to as far as being able to dial in your nutrition if you're looking to drop body fat or build up some muscle. Now, before we dive in and get to all the good stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button and so that you don't miss out on any future videos. Let's get to the action. So with that said, let's go ahead and start with the chest. And so with chest, the first exercise is going to be none other than chest presses. This is one of those exercises that should be on everybody's list of things to do when they hit the gym. Not only is it hitting your chest, but it's also working our triceps. Like I was just sharing you earlier, we're killing two birds with one stone. And so some guys, if you don't have time to, do push-ups or chest press and then go over and isolate and do tricep extensions or, tricep kickbacks or something like that, you can just simply by doing chest presses with the barbell, the dumbbells, it doesn't matter, or even a machine, these are just different variations of doing chest press. All of them still get the same job done. It's just a different type of equipment that we're using. And then the other exercise that I would say for chest, okay, this is exercise number 2, which would be chest flies. All right, now with chest flies, this is more of an isolated movement, to be honest. This is probably the best exercise when it comes to training our chest. Because we're hitting upper chest, medial chest, and then our lower chest as well. And it's just an overall chest exercise, chest movement, but we're also working the front of our shoulders. And so something that you'll notice as I go throughout these different exercises is that I really won't say much about the front of your shoulders. We need to be doing front shoulder exercises, because just by simply doing these 2 exercises, chest press, chest flies, we're already working the front of our shoulders enough with doing that, because our front shoulders are actually helping our chest muscles. Look at front shoulders as one of those muscle groups that kind of assist our chest muscles to be able to get the job done and do the work that we need to get done. All right, now that we're done with the chest exercises, now we're about to move into our back muscles. I was one of those guys that would always just do chest exercises, but I would completely neglect my back. And a lot of guys are not aware of how important it is to hit our back muscles and how much it really just brings out our physique as a whole. When you think about really confident men, what do you think? They, the chest is poked out, the chin is held up high, and then they have the shoulders back. But you can't really bring your shoulders back if your back muscles are not strong. It just doesn't look as powerful and dynamic if you don't have back muscles. And so there's 2 exercises in particular. Like I said earlier, there's plenty of different alternatives, but the 2 that I say every guy needs to be doing is chin-ups, number 1, because it works our lats as well as our biceps. This is one of the exercises that I just love. It hits our biceps as well as our lats. Now, the other alternative to doing the chin-ups will be the overhand pull-ups. Chin-ups are when your hands are underhand and you're pulling up, but it's more bicep focused and you're still working your back. But if you want to be more lat focused, working your back, your upper lats, and it's still working your biceps, you'll be doing overhand pull-ups. And so both work. The one that I would say every guy needs to be doing is underhand chin-ups, because now we're hitting our biceps and our back at the same time. And now the other back exercise would be rows. You could do seated rows, or you could do dumbbell rows, or even barbell rows. If you're somewhat of a beginner, I would kind of stray away from doing like the barbell rows, because until you get strong enough, your core is strong enough, you could potentially throw out your back or injure your lower back, because you may put a certain amount of weight on that bar and you may tweak your lower back, and it can be easy to do that if you're new and you just don't have that form and technique down pat. And so I tell guys to lean towards doing the dumbbell rows where you're doing one arm at a time on a bench, or you could do the seated rows with a machine where you have like a pad up against your chest, and that kind of mounts you in place. So as you're pulling the bar back, pulling the handles back, you're working your lats, you're working your biceps, you know, you're working your rhomboids, so you get that back thickness. That's what rows are for. It's gonna work those rhomboids, your lats, your biceps, and even your rear delts, so the back of your shoulders. That's something that a lot of guys don't think about neither. If you wanna have those 3D delts, you wanna have those 3D shoulders, you know, you look at these movie stars like The Rock, or if you look at the movie Troy with Brad Pitt, these guys have these really nice shoulders. That's because they didn't just work on the front or the side of their shoulders, they also worked on the rear part of their shoulders to give their shoulders that 3D pop. And next we're gonna roll in the shoulders. So with shoulders, there's 2 exercises with this as well. Like I said earlier, when we're doing chest exercises, we're working the front of our shoulders a lot already. And so we don't really need to hit front shoulders. We don't need to make a primary front shoulder exercise a key exercise to do within our routines. The exercise that we want to focus on are overhead shoulder press. Okay, overhead shoulder press. One being because it works the front and the lateral part of our shoulders, mainly the lateral part, but it still does work a little bit of the front shoulders as well. But it also works our triceps. That's what I love about the shoulder presses. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone as well. And so that's one. And then the second exercise being lateral shoulder raises with dumbbells. And there's also machines at certain gyms that you can do lateral shoulder raises with, okay? And when you're doing lateral shoulder raises, that's all lateral shoulder. That's really gonna give you that 3D pop. Whenever you see guys, you're like, damn, that guy's shoulders are just like broad. Like what in the world did this dude do? Like, did he come out the womb, lifting weights? How did he get these shoulders? It's because he's doing lateral shoulder raises. It's because he's doing shoulder presses as well. And so make sure you put these 2 exercises in your routine, because a lot of guys neglect this, but the more broader our shoulders, the more thick our shoulder and round our shoulders look, it actually makes guys look more attractive to women. It's a more dominant look. It's a more, in a way, aggressive look that just, it speaks respect. It speaks, I can protect you, you know what I mean? And it also speaks, hey, if you run up on me, you might have some problems. And so make sure you do these exercises as well. So next we have lower body. So the first exercise I have on the list is squats, barbell squats. Now, for some people, if you're a beginner, or let's say, for example, you're just not, confident putting that bar on your shoulders and squatting with the bar, start with goblet squats. That's a great alternative if you're just not in a position to do barbell squats, or if you're just not confident doing it just yet. Start with goblet squats. That way you just have a dumbbell and you're squatting down the same exact way, but you don't have that bar on your back. Both exercises work, but obviously if you want to get more results out of your legs and you want to go heavier, it's only so heavy you can go with a goblet squat. You won't find too many gyms that are gonna have, 150, 200 pound dumbbells. So you're gonna have to put that weight on a barbell, so that way you can lift that type of weight. But by the time you get to a point where you can lift that heavy, you're pretty much gonna be ready for a barbell squat. A couple of reasons that barbell squats are so beneficial is not just for your legs, it's also for your core. And when you're doing the barbell squat the right way, it's helping your entire body, not just your legs. Like I just remember when I went back into doing bodybuilding, when I was doing bodybuilding back in the days, man, when I did legs, like after my leg days, going into the next day, I was even more shredded. I was even more lean and cut. And I'm like, man, what did I do different yesterday? What did I eat different? What happened? And I had to think back, and I was like, man, I just had a leg day. And then the next time I would do legs, I'd be even more lean, even more cut, even more shredded, because it takes so much effort and energy when you're doing those lifts. And when you think about how big the muscles are in our legs, man, those are like the biggest muscle groups. And so when you're training the right way, when you're doing squats the right way, man, you're gonna be able to get so much benefit, and you're gonna be able to burn so much body fat and build so much muscle because you're hitting those major muscle groups. And so squat being one. If you can't do squats, do the goblet squats. And then the next exercise is gonna be Romanian deadlifts. Some guys, they'll say, do the barbell deadlifts or do just traditional deadlifts, and those are great. Nothing wrong with it. That's a great exercise to have in your arsenal as well. But I look at the level of risk with different exercises, and I understand everybody's not gonna be a professional or a professional lifter like I am, or the same level of fitness as I am. I know some guys, they just wanna look good, they wanna be healthy, they don't wanna throw out their back or anything like that. And so I really don't throw the deadlifts, the traditional deadlifts, into the mix. The deadlifts are not gonna be in this list, okay? But Romanian deadlifts are. And you can do this with just by using some dumbbells. Grab two dumbbells and do your Romanian deadlifts with that. Not only are you gonna be working your lower back, but you're also working your glutes and your hamstrings as well. And depending on how heavy you go, you may start to feel it in your upper back as well from, when you're leaning over, and then when you're coming back up, you're kind of getting some stretch in your rhomboids and lats and things like that from doing the Romanian deadlift. But if you don't go super heavy, you probably won't even notice that. You might just feel your hamstrings, a little bit of your glutes, and a little bit of your lower back as well. And then the last exercise for your legs is gonna be standing or just straight leg calf raises. You could do them standing, put a barbell on your back, or you could hold on to some dumbbells and just do straight leg calf raises. The reason I love this exercise is because it works our gastrocnemius, also just known as like the thicker part of our calf muscles. Like when you're sitting down doing the calf raises and your knees are bent, you're working more of like the soleus, is like the bottom part of your calf muscles, is not that thick part. But when you're doing straight leg calf raises, or when your legs are straight, with seated straight leg calf raises or standing straight leg calf raises, you're working that thicker part. And the more you grow that part of it, the more you work the straight leg calf raises, you're working the top part of your calves as well as the lower part of your calves. And now let's get to the abs, baby. I know some of you guys probably have been thinking, man, what are ab exercises? What are abs I need to do? Jay, what you got all these abs, but you ain't said nothing about abs yet. All right, here we go. So the first exercise when it comes to training your core and your abs is gonna be a little bit more intermediate, advanced. Like if you need to lose quite a bit of weight, like 40, 50, 60 pounds, and you can't just hold your body weight up, this might not be the exercise for you, but it's gonna be hanging knee raises. But you can also, there's also at certain gyms, they have these little machines where you can put your arms on the pads and you can just bring your knees up, okay? And so you can either do hanging knee raises by having your hands on a pull-up bar, or you could just hold your body weight if they have that particular machine and put your arms on the pads and just bring your knees up. That's gonna work your abs, work the medial and lower part of your abdominals. The next exercise is gonna be some good old sit-ups. All right, do some good old sit-ups. Obviously, that's gonna work more of your upper and medial part of your abs. And then the last exercise where you're working your abs as well as your obliques and your torso. I know a lot of guys think that, hey man, I wanna get rid of my muffin top. I wanna get rid of my love handles. It's not coming from the ab exercises. It's coming from our nutrition. Nutrition is what's gonna help us drop the body fat, all right? But all these exercises that I'm giving you, that's what's gonna help us build that muscle. That's what's gonna help us get tighter. That's what's gonna help us feel stronger. And so that way, as we're dropping the body fat, we're not looking skinny and weak. We actually have some definition and a good little aesthetic look to ourselves. And so the last exercise in this mix of the abs is the seated ab twist, all right? The seated ab twist. This is working our abs as well as our obliques because we're twisting our torso. And as you do this exercise, this is one of the exercises I actually love too because you get that V-taper look. And so make sure you throw all these exercises in your routine, man. From upper body with the chest, the back, the shoulders, the legs, and all the way to the abs. And you'll notice as you do these exercises, you don't have to do all of them every single workout, but just, you know, if you're doing a full body day, do one of the chest exercises, do one of the back exercise, do one of the, two of the leg exercises, because, you know, squats are gonna work the majority of your quads and your glutes, and then you can do some remaining deadlifts to hit those hammies, and then you can throw some calf raises in there to hit the calves. You know, that's total package, baby. Like whenever I'm doing a full body workout, that's kind of like the flow that I use. So with that said, champs, if you found the video helpful, drop me a like and comment any questions or topics that you want me to talk about in the future, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, baby. We out, champs. Let's get it.